Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Loudon, New Hampshire, the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Tonight's Superior Class Auto Racing NASCAR Cup Series. Built in 1990, it was the first major speedway built in the last 20 years. It would be the spark to ignite a track building boom through the 90s and early 2000s, but none would put quite the premium on man and machine as New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Just over 1 mile with flat corners. It will require a machine with power and good brakes, with a pilot with nerves of steel. That's what it's going to take to bring home a giant New England lobster tonight. It's a Superior Class Auto Racing New Hampshire 150, and it's next on HBR TV.
Whatever it takes to destroy the field, win the points, win the races, and get everybody sponsored to come to us. Just destroy the whole Busch Series field is what we're trying to do. And if we can do that, that puts a lot of pressure on these other guys that have to go out work on the race cars. And they just give us a better result.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Steve Singer with Holler Boys Racing TV alongside Eric Dotson. Eric, welcome to New England and Loudon, New Hampshire. Have you had a chance to get any lobster while you're here?
Absolutely not. I'm not into the seafood. How about you?
It's just a big water bug, right?
Yeah, I like that good American, steak, cheeseburgers. No lobsters for me. But I think we're going to have an exciting race anyways.
Certainly going to have that. Practice just about wrapped up here from the Speedway. 5 seconds left officially in the session. Top of the board, Will Hewitt actually the 33. Bobby Jr. second, Cody Harger third, David Bradford fourth, Colt Ansley fifth. See if they can back up those times. A 30-30, the fastest, coming up here in qualifying in just a moment or two. So Colt Ansley is going to be the first to roll out onto the Speedway to start his qualifying.
I'm sure Colt's looking for redemption after last week. Looked like he was going to get a top 5 and ended up, outside of it. So I'm sure he's coming here looking for a good finish.
Colt's always looking for a good finish or a win. I don't really think his previous race has a whole lot to do with it. He is nose to the grindstone every Tuesday night. Ooh, Colt loose off turn 2, puts it into the fence down the backstretch. That's going to do it for the 86. David Bradford, number 46 machine out on track. Taking the green for his first lap.
Looks like it's slick coming out of these turns.
Yeah,
for
turn
these guys.
turn 2 especially.
Yeah, I seen David, babying that throttle coming out.
Cody Harger out on the track now. Hamilton Jr. top of the board, a 30.43, about 10th.5 slower than the best practice time. Will Hewitt, though, second quick, just a half tenth off Bobby Jr. Let's see what Cody Harger can muster here.
Ooh, looks like Will Hewitt's took the pole.
Will Hewitt takes it over, 30.36 for the 33. Half a tenth slower than practice, but still a pretty stout lap. See if it holds up here. Cody Harger off turn 2 down the front straightaway. 8th quick for the 66 on lap 1, a 30.79. We're going to stay with the 66 here. Looks like everyone's taken their 2 laps so far, with the exception of maybe a handful. Mark Truxell, Vince Short, Jeff Napier, Thomas McMullen have not taken a time so far. Cody off turn 2, crosses the line. 6th quick for the 66, 50.592 seconds. Four other drivers that could take a time here. Again, Truxell, Short, Jeff Napier, Thomas McMullen. I don't know that they're going to make an attempt here. We will see.
Looks like they got about a minute and a half.
Yeah, we're going to step away here, take a short break. I have a word here from the Hateful Chicken before we get to our starting grid and the start of the New Hampshire 150. We'll be back after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Loudon, New Hampshire. The New Hampshire 150 about to get underway. Let's take a look at our starting grid. On the pole, the number 33, Will Hewitt with Outcast Racing. To his outside, the 16 of Bobby Hamilton Jr. with the Hateful Chicken. Row number 2, David Bradford, the 46 with Holler Boys Racing. To his outside, Justin Napier with TCB Motorsports. Row 3 is the 71 of Alan DeFries. Outside, Cody Harger, the 66 with Charger Racing. Starting 7th, Colt Ansley with Outcast Racing. And Brian Rose starts 8th. Jesse Bobo will roll off 9th with Carson Conway 10th. Thomas McMullen with TCB Motorsports will start 11th with Mark Truxell starting in the 12th position. Starting 13th, Vincent Short of Holler Boys Racing with Jeff Napier in the 40 to his outside. Jeff starting shotgun on the field here this afternoon.
It looks like David Bradford will get an EOL for the wind penalty for last week.
Yeah, it's more than just an EOL. David Bradford's going to get 2 sets of tires taken away, not only tonight, but the rest of the season. He will also get an EOL at the start of stage number 2. So big-time wind penalties in store here for the 46 of David Bradford.
Oh, yeah. At a track like this where tires are going to be so important, I'm anxious to see his strategy.
Waved off the initial start here.
That gives us time for you to make your pick.
Oh, we didn't even do that last week, did we?
No, we was so excited about the race we forgot.
I am going to go with Bobby Jr.
Bobby Jr. I'll take Will Hewitt, the pole sitter.
Another good pick. Starting on the pole, front row drivers here. Yeah, we're really going out on a limb here today.
I probably just cursed Will Hewitt. I feel like whoever I've picked, I've cursed lately.
Time will tell. We've taken an extra caution lap here to get the field formed up. Don't know if we had a gridding issue at the start here. Seems there may have been a little bit of an issue, but everything's squared away. Field formed up into 3. Lights are off atop the iRacing pace car. We're going to get the green flag. It looks like this time by. Pace car peels off the racetrack, waiting on the starter to wave green. Green is in the air. Field comes to life. We're underway here at the New Hampshire 150. Will Hewitt gets the jump into turn number 1, but right outside the 16 of Bobby Hamilton Jr. Bobby Hamilton Jr. got his very first Busch Series victory here. Going back, I don't want to say almost 20 years ago. Will Hewitt clears the 16 into turn 3, though, takes over the top spot. Bobby tucking in right behind on the back bumper of the 33. Field works off turn 4.
Yeah, Bobby got a great start there, and I thought he was going to maybe be able to take the lead early on that high side.
Tires so important in a place like New Hampshire, especially with these next-gen Cup cars. They're really just... Oh, we got a spinner, 54. Justin Napier off turn number 2. Contact with the inside Armco barrier. We stay under green as he did clear the racetrack. Let's see if he can rejoin here. Green does stay out.
Bobby Jr. under Will Hewitt for the lead.
Bobby into turn number 1, trying to take away the top spot from Will Hewitt. Will battling back on the outside. Door to door off turn number 2. It's a drag race down the back straightaway. And we got another car loose. It's the 71 to DeFries. He keeps it out of the grass, though. Straightens it out, keeps going. Meanwhile, Bobby Jr. taking over that top position. New leader off turn 4, Bobby Hamilton Jr.
Yeah, that's the same thing we saw with Cole Ansley coming out turn 2. I mean, it's slick on these guys with the fresh tires.
Wasn't... We see Colt didn't spin, right?
In qualifying.
Oh, qualifying, yeah. Five laps in, your top 5. Hamilton Jr., Will Hewitt, Colt Ansley, Cody Harder, Alan DeFries. Justin Napier all the way back in the 14th position, just trying to get to a caution here to get some repairs made. That number 54 Hateful chicken machine. Definitely some front end damage to that Chevrolet Camaro. Not looking great here in the early going at New Hampshire. They do have one fast repair if they choose to use it. Justin may opt just to try and beat that sheet metal out the best that he can. Save that fast repair for later on in the going.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for him. You know,
Vincent Short loose off turn number 2. Vincent also gathers it back up. No harm, no foul. Just some track position lost getting back into turn number 3. Turn 2 so far, calamity quarter here at Loudon, New Hampshire. Cody Harger putting the pressure on the 86 of Colt Ansley. Cody wanting around the 86, wants to take over that 3rd position. A lot of these guys maybe just feeling out the equipment here early on, but Cody Harger looking aggressive, trying to make a move here on Colt Ansley early on.
Looks like Bobby may be starting to pull away a little bit now.
Yeah, Bobby Jr. putting a gap on the 33 of Hewitt, about 0.6 of a second as they work into turn number 3. Good battle here for second, third, and fourth, though. Will Hewitt, Colt Ansley, Cody Harger. Colt to the outside of the 33 of Will Hewitt. This is a teammate pass here. Ansley's got the spot, second position into turn 3 and 4. Gets around Will Hewitt. So does Cody Harger. Will being smart right now, just trying to save these tires. And they've got 4 sets to play with here this afternoon. Sounds like a lot, but we've seen guys in practice, they were blowing right fronts after 40 laps.
Yeah, I mean, I actually heard some guys talking about we may see green flag pit stops here.
Very good possibility, especially if you look at that last stage. Stage 2 caution is at lap 90. That's 60 laps to the finish. Probably 55 of that will be under green. Definitely going to need to make a pit stop in that span, provided we don't get a caution. Oh, Alan DeFries off the racetrack. Another turn 2 issue here for the 71 Alan DeFries. It happened early on, I think lap 4 or 5 for the 71. He does it again, puts it in the grass this time. Does not appear to have hit anything, but gathers that machine back up. Rejoins the race, albeit in 12th spot.
Somebody put some baby oil in turn 2.
Oh, we got another spinner, Brian Rose. Turn 2 again. Brian Rose spins it off turn number 2, does not hit anything.
Yeah, I've watched Brian the last few laps, and he's been loose coming out of turn 2 almost every lap.
I think the whole field's loose out of 2.
That is a good observation.
I think what these guys are doing is they're getting back in the throttle just a tick too early off the corner. Brian made note of it early on in the practice, looking at some of the data, that he's just getting in the throttle a little bit too soon, and that will happen. You've got to get that machine pointed, going as straight as possible before you mash the throttle again. Otherwise, you have a real big opportunity to spin that machine out. Flat corners here at New Hampshire, it's a very easy thing to do. Back towards the front, we've got a battle for the second position. Cody Harger, the 66 Plasmine Technologies Camry, trying to take a peek to the inside of Colt Ansley. Nothing doing there, retaining the third position. Colt Ansley defending second here, lap 15 of 150.
Cody's been peeking around the last few laps. We'll see if he can get that move pulled off.
Cody definitely seems to be a bit faster. Last lap for the 66 of 31.28, Colt 31.30.
Looks like he gave him a little love tap there a while ago going down the back stretch.
Your first bump is, hey, I'm here. Second bump is, I'm here and I'm faster. And the third bump usually means that you're backwards in the grass or in the fence somewhere. Cody Harger putting a lot of pressure on the 86 of Colt Ansley here, lap 17 of 150. Second, third, and fourth, that is the battle we're watching right now here at New Hampshire. Colt Ansley's got the second position. Cody Harger wants around, makes a move, late move to the inside, turn number 1. He's alongside, he's at the door, has to check up though, slides the nose. 66 pushing through the corner just a bit. Colt Ansley with the preferred line, the outside. He's able to carry momentum down the straightaway.
Yeah, I think right now Cody's just a little faster, but Colt's running his line for sure.
Cody's definitely a little bit quicker. Some contact there off turn number 4. Again, that's the second bump. We don't want to see the third one. Down to the inside, Cody Harger to 66, dives it in, slides into the door of the 86, slides up the track, goes Colt Ansley, and he spins it out through turn number 2, up the track, into the fence. Yellow flag is out. We kind of saw that coming. What did we say?
That was the third one.
That was the third one. Oh, man, Terry Ansley's not going to be happy about that.
And the thing is you know, Colt and Cody have short fuses, so I wouldn't be surprised to, you know, something happen later on in this race with these two if they get around each other.
Let's go back and take a look at it here for Eddie Rose, the Hateful Chicken instant replay. Little contact made into one. It looked like, again, the 66 gets in there hot, slides it up the track into the door of the 86. Old Ansley looked like he had it saved, but straightens out the wheel and it gets in the loose stuff and it just comes around on him.
Yeah, I thought Colt was going to pull off that save. He almost had it.
He really did almost have it. I think he straightened the wheel just a tick too soon. Of course, if you're too late, you go hard right into the fence. Well, we did see a few guys taking the opportunity to pit. Of course, Colt Ansley, some damage after that incident. Brian Rose as well did hit the pit lane. Not sure if he's going to take tires here. Let's see. No, he's already down and away.
He did take tires. I seen him jack his car up. I was watching Colt's pit stop to see if he used a quick repair. Colt and Brian both took 4 tires.
Justin Napier did not use his quick repair. He was in the pit lane to get some of that repair done. Damage to the front and rear of that Hateful Chicken machine.
David Bradford has quietly made it up to 4th place.
Yeah, don't forget, though, David Bradford working on only 2 sets of tires this afternoon. Going through the stream chat here again, as we expected, Terry Ansley not pleased with that contact between the 66 and the 86. 13 viewers in the Facebook side of things. Will Jones, unfortunately, out due to work-related injury. He's in the stream watching as well. Says whoever can get out front will be hard to beat if they can hold on to it. That is the truth. Clean air is going to be really important here. We saw how difficult it was for the 66 to make a pass on Colt Ansley. He had to really dive bomb it in there, get to the inside, but then slide up into the 86 and cause contact. Around goes the 86. Might see more of that if we get a fast guy that catches a leader here later on.
Yeah, we got a few guys on these 4 fresh tires, so you know that could be the case later on in this run.
Well, that's going to be fun to watch, to see the speed differential between those guys and the leaders. Still about 21 laps from the stage. Once we go back to green here, lights are off atop the pace car, peels off the racetrack. Cody tried to time it, didn't do it, was a little early, had to check up. Bobby Hamilton Jr. gets the good restart. Cody Harger, not so much. Will Hewitt to his inside turn. One contact made with the 66. Caution is out again. 33 of Will Hewitt just dive bombing the corner, slides up the track into the 66. Wow, that looked a lot like the pass on the 86 just a few laps ago. Did I mention that the 33 and the 86 are teammates? Well, let's go take a look at that. Will Hewitt down low. Actually, I think that was more Cody coming down. It really looked that way. The 33 was down low, had the position, and it looks like his left side's kind of stayed right there on those white lines. See if we can get a better view of it.
I think it's more a racing deal. I feel like the 33 came up a little bit and the 66 was coming down.
Well, either way, it does look like a racing deal. I mean, it is somewhat aggressive here on the opening lap of the restart. I know you got to get all you can get, but yeah, the 66 does come down. I don't know. It's tough to say.
You know, maybe Will Hewitt was just saying, hey, you took my teammate out. I'm not giving you an inch here.
Could be. Hard to say. Unfortunately, it did wad up some other vehicles in this incident. Obviously, Will Hewitt, Cody Harger looks like the worst of it, but Carson Conway involved, Justin Napier involved, Alan DeFries gets a little bit of it late.
I'd say the man that's loving this the most is David Bradford, only having 2 sets of tires. He's probably liking these caution laps.
Yeah, because, I mean, with 2 sets of tires, 150 miles, that's, if you really want to break it apart, that's 75 miles on a set of tires. That is a lot. Again, these guys were cooking right front tires and having failures after 40 to 50 laps, depending on the driver. It wasn't always that way, but, I mean, that's what we're talking about. Yes, David Bradford, very good at saving tires, so that is definitely an advantage he has. But, man, this is a tough place to be down that many. He's got the first set that he started on, so he can maybe go 50, 60 laps there on that set. Then he's got 2 sets over the wall, so I don't know. It's going to be interesting to watch, but you're absolutely right, Eric. Caution lap certainly helping him extend the life of these Goodyear Racing Eagles.
Yeah, and just so our viewers know, Cody Harger took responsibility and got an EOL for that wreck. Green flag's out. Bobby got a great jump there.
Again, I don't think David's going to push the issue too much here with the tire situation he's got to deal with. He's happy to be in that second spot, but I think it's just running a smooth, clean race so far for the 46.
Yeah, I don't think you'll see him, you know, battle anyone that's faster than him and use more tire than he has to. Brian Rose looking for 4th place.
Brian Rose battling the 7 of Jesse Bobo, but he's also got Cole Ansley trying to get by on the outside. Which do you look at, out front or in the mirror? Gonna have to be careful. Cuts off the 86. It slows down that advance. Brian Rose, a little late contact with the 7 of Jesse Bobo. Gets into the corner again. I'd be willing to bet the 89 was in the mirror. Looking at the 86, and Cole Ansley goes around by himself. Not sure if there was contact there, but Cole Ansley spins again off turn number 2. Yellow flag is out. Once again, the caution flag flies, and David Bradford just smiles. Let's go back and see if we can get a look what happened with the 86 of Colt Ansley. Brought the yellow flag out once again. Colt Ansley, this is off turn number 2. Yeah, just gets back in the throttle a little bit too early.
Yeah, and him and Brian Rose were on 4 fresher tires, so it seems like these guys are struggling coming out when they have the fresh tires.
Riding on the roof cam of Brian Rose, you see the 86 just getting to the throttle a little too soon off 2, and around it goes. So Justin and Cody back on pit lane once again. Trying to get some more repairs taken care of on their machines. Cody Harger, same thing. Neither driver has used a fast repair to this point, as far as I can tell. Trying to save that till later. So far, it seems that this place is pretty tough. Want to make sure you can have that fast repair for as late as you possibly can later on in the race. Colt Ansley out there. Nose looks pretty clean on the 86 Rick Motec machine, but the right rear not looking too happy. I want to get that fixed here at the soonest opportunity that the 86 has.
Yeah, I think that was lingering from the incident with Cody Harger.
Lights are out again on the pace car. We're going to go back to green. Another restart in the books, ready to go. Keep an eye on the 16 of Bobby Hamilton Jr. Really stout on the restart. So is David Bradford, but again, I wouldn't expect to see a whole lot of resistance out of the 46. Definitely in tire conservation mode here, probably until the end of the last stage.
Bobby wasted no time on that restart.
Yeah, I want to go back and take a look and check the rules. I'm not 100% sure if pace car's got to be in the pit lane before you fire, or if it just has to be below the line. Definitely, pace car was not in the pit lane at that point when Bobby went, but maybe the rules are different. I don't know. I'll go back and look at a different time, but. Meanwhile, the 16, though, a Hateful Chicken Ford Mustang out front. David Bradford, Thomas McMullen, Brian Rose, Mark Truxell, your top 5.
If I'm not mistaken, Brian Rose probably has the freshest tires out of anyone up in the top 5 right now.
Yeah, Brian definitely on the newest tires.
Looks like he's working to get that 3rd place from Thomas, who glitches out and I guess led up and Brian took.
Yeah, it's been an issue, unfortunately, with Thomas McMullen as of late. We've seen him have some connection issues on a relatively consistent basis. Not really sure why, but it's an issue. It's difficult to race around. It's certainly nothing.
Whoa. Somebody hard into the wall.
Will Hewitt.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. He was going across the track fast.
Well, we've got a replay. Let's take a look, see what we can see here. Hateful Chicken instant replay. Watching the 33 of Will Hewitt. This is as they cross the line. He's just a nose in front of the 5 of Mark Truxell. Mark is a lane up. Ooh, contact made between the 5 and the 33. Sends Will down the track into turn one. Will gets to the flat, overcorrects, crosses up in front of the field. Puts it in the outside wall. Hard impact. Mark Truxell slides in underneath. 33 into the fence.
I think Will Hewitt just got out of the throttle a lot quicker than Mark Truxell was expecting, and Mark just got into the back of him.
Well, it was really close to begin with. Again, Mark Truxell, probably one of our cleanest drivers in the series. Certainly not intentional, but it was tight there. Again, you're running 150 plus mile an hour at the end of the straight, right where they lift. Let's see if we can watch the speed shot here.
Mark Truxell's taking responsibility and took an EOL for that.
On the tight angle here, the tower camera. Yeah, that's tough to say. Looking at it from the tower angle, I think you're right, Eric. The 33 just got out of the gas, just getting ready for the corner. Truxell either wasn't ready for it or was lifting later by design. Just gets into the 33.
Yeah, I think Will Hewitt just kind of snuck up on him there with how early he lifted.
And it's not that that's the bad way to do it. I mean, Brian Rose was saying he was starting to lift just past the start-finish line to get into turn number one. At least that was in practice. I was kind of surprised by that. Again, I haven't run these next-gen cars here at New Hampshire, but to me that seemed awfully early. But, I mean, it kind of makes sense. You back up your corner entry. It gives you the ability to get back in the throttle and really increase the exit speed out of the corner, maximize that straightaway speed. So it's the better way to turn a lap here. But if you're inches apart from a guy and he hasn't seen you lift there enough times to expect it, that's the type of incident that can happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's just these drivers, you know, it's the way they drive, their driving habits. I feel like I was one that always kind of probably lifts earlier than a lot of people, and, you know, it got me in trouble. It's just driving habits.
Pace car peels off the racetrack. Bobby now waits until the pace car hits the pit lane. I don't know if it's just a matter of trying to mix it up or what have you, but either way, Bobby Jr., good restart. Again, the 46, David Bradford, likely not going to be contending the issue too strongly. But Brian Rose, the number 89, looking for the second spot off turn number 2, still side by side with David Bradford. Again, Brian Rose on fresher tires, may want to hunt down the 16 here, try to take over the top spot, maybe get himself a stage win.
Yeah, Brian needs this thing to stay green in order to try to maximize his effort in running Bobby and down him, being able to complete the pass.
Hamilton Jr., Brian Rose, Bradford, McMullen, Short, your top 5. Lap 42 goes up on the board.
Whoa, somebody sideways in the back there. Almost had a wreck. They saved it.
Cody Harger slow off turn number 2. And Alan DeFries is in the fence off the back straightaway. Stays off the racetrack. He does tow back to the pits. No caution.
Brian Rose is taking the lead as all this is going on.
Side by side, Brian Rose to the inside of Bobby Hamilton Jr. into turn number 1. Bobby wiggles a little bit. Not sure if there was contact made between the 89 and the 16, but Brian Rose is the leader off turn number 2. Real loose is the 16 off turn number 2. Gathers it back up. David Bradford right in behind, and here comes Cole Ansley. Also on some fresher tires, the 15 of Vincent Short. Similar colors. I thought it was the 86, and it is not. It is the 15 of Vincent Short.
Vincent Short out of nowhere to come up here and battle with these guys.
Vince also on a fresh set of tires based on that lap 25 pit stop. Brian Rose, your leader, off turn number 4, sees lap 45 about to go up on the board. Meanwhile, Vince Short trying to take over the second spot. He'd love a second place stage finish here. Nothing doing yet. This is the final lap of stage number 1. Brian Rose with the lead. David Bradford finally starting to put his right foot down in the gas, trying to get the spot from Bobby Jr. as well. Bradford could certainly be happy to have some second place points, and he spins off turn 2. Contact with the 54 of Justin Napier. Big trouble off turn 2 down the backstretch. Caution is out. That is the stage. David Bradford's hit the go button there on the last lap of the stage, trying to pick up a couple extra spots for the points. Instead, it's a crash off turn number 2.
Yeah, it looked like Justin Napier may have just drove in too hard and got in the back of him.
Well, we're going to watch it here, slow motion view. This is another tower cam off turn number 2, the 46, that black HBR machine to the high side. Bobby Jr. in the middle, Vincent Short down low. And off turn 2, Vincent was going to make the pass on the 16. Yeah, it looks like the 54 of Napier may have just driven it a little too hard. Gets into the left rear of the 46. Around both cars go. Contact made with the inside Armco barrier. Hard impact for the 46. Watch it from another view here. This is again off turn number 2. 46 up high. Last lap of the stage, trying to get all you can get, but got a little more than you bargained for. Unfortunately, the 54, Justin Napier, the 46, David Bradford, involved in an incident. Pit stops complete here. The leaders that did not pit on that lap 25 caution get a chance to get their pit service taken care of. Those that did pit under that initial caution, with the exception of Vince Short and Carson Conway, everybody else pits. Those two stay out on the racetrack. Trying to keep themselves off cycle, it looks like. I think that's going to be the way the victor here. But now Carson Conway does decide he's going to pit. He does take the opportunity here. Not sure why Carson stayed out initially. All that damage, but
Maybe been trying to get a bonus point and didn't know Vince stayed out.
I'm not sure. He needs to get this car fixed, unless he's going to burn a fast repair. Yep, there it goes. Fast repair taken care of. Right side's in the air. Roll around to the left side. It'll go up. 4 tires and fuel for Carson Conway. The Popple Mustangs down and away. Rejoin the fight. Vincent Short, the only car out there with an old set of tires, 20 laps older than everybody else in behind. I don't think it's going to matter too much for the first lap or two, because it seems like these guys have a difficult time on these brand new Goodyear Racing Eagles until they get some heat into them. Keep an eye on turn number 2 as the calamity corner as it was at the beginning of the race. Either way, though, Brian Rose, Vincent Short, 2 track bar medium machines on the front row here for the restart. Pace car lights are off. We're going to get that restart at lap 50. Next stage caution at lap 90.
So this is interesting. Vince is choosing the high side. We hadn't had a leader do that tonight.
Well, I think it's because he's on old tires. If he gets eaten up really, really fast, it kind of gives him an opportunity to bail out, let the field go by on the inside without causing a wreck. You don't want to be down low on old tires when everybody else has got fresh rubber. You're just going to cause a problem. Pace car peels off. Then Short in the throttle. Good restart by the 15. Brian Rose slides up the high side in behind. Vincent Short, for now, is away into turn number 1, but here comes Will Hewitt to the inside of Brian Rose. A great restart by the 33, and we've got trouble in the back. Carson Conway. We've got a spinner as well. Mark Truxell involved.
Bud, tell me about your car real quick.
I'm not sure. I didn't catch that one. We'll have to go back and look at that.
Well, here's the replay with the initial restart. Watch the 82 of Carson Conway. Just drives it in too deep, gets to the back bumper of the 5, then slides up the track in front of the 54 of Justin Napier. It was enough to send the 5 around and spinning. David Bradford trying to negotiate his way through the mess. Not sure if he gets clear or not. We're going to see in a minute here. Mark Truxell trying really hard to spin it around and get it straightened out. David Bradford does squeak by, though. No contact for the 46, but Carson Conway, Mark Truxell, Justin Napier involved in an incident here at lap 50. Well, I guess that is the question here. Vince Short now is going to pick up the pace car in just a moment. Does he take this opportunity to say, you know what, I need to put tires on this thing, or does he just run it out and see what happens?
Yeah, I mean, with these cautions, I think it could change a lot of people's game plans.
It's really helping the 46 of David Bradford, I can tell you that much. He did not take tires on that last caution.
And he got the EOL for consecutive wins, or so many wins, correct?
Well, he gets an EOL at the start, and he should have gotten one at the start of stage 2. Let me go back and double check the announcements here. Stage 2, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it popped up. He got an EOL.
Vincent Short stays on the racetrack, does not hit the pit lane to get 4 tires or fuel. It might not be a bad gamble, honestly. I mean, if we keep getting yellows like we have been, this could work out in the favor of the 15. He's on older tires, but if he can stretch it a little further, I mean, granted, they do have 4 sets to play with. He's only got 97 laps to go. 3 sets probably left. Yeah, 3 sets to use still. Break that over 97 laps. That's not that bad.
Yeah, if he can stay out front and keep getting these cautions, he'll look like a genius.
I mean, really, a couple extra cautions. The 15 with 3 sets of tires and 95 laps left, he can kind of be aggressive on every stint from here on out. Not really have to conserve tires as much. It's interesting, too, because Vince was coming into tonight not really a fan of this place, just wanting to survive, and here he finds himself with some strategy out front leading this thing.
Looks like he's going to choose the high side again.
Again, I think that makes sense. I don't know. I'm just assuming that the 15 and the 89 had some conversations before the restart, and that's kind of what precipitated that. But it does make sense the 15 takes the high side, especially on the old tires. Here we go. Lights are off on the pace car field, working down the backstretch. We're going to go green this time by lap 55 will go on the board.
These guys getting anxious. Pace car's off. Vince is out to another good start.
Great restart by the 15. Will Hewitt's still got some damage on that 33 machine, so we'll see how that affects him. Slides right on by the 15 on the inside, though. Cody Harger going to try to do the same off turn number 2. Down the backstretch they go. It's a drag race. Vincent Short has the advantage into turn 3, but Cody Harger has the position. He's going to take this spot away here in just a moment. Working off turn number 4, Will Hewitt, your new leader.
It's like Bobby Jr. is making his way through the field quick, trying to get back up into the lead.
Bobby Jr. high and low around the 15 of Vincent Short, trying to take over that spot. This is the battle for the 3rd position.
It almost looked like Vince was throwing some blocks there. I'm not sure if he was or not.
A little early to be throwing blocks.
Yeah, I think that may get you a bumper. Ooh, he barely misses that wall right there.
To the inside, Bobby Jr. on the 15 of Vincent Short, moved the 16 Hateful Chicken Mustang up to the 3rd spot.
Bobby just looks like to me he's on a mission this race.
I could be wrong, but it seems like Bobby likes this place. Again, you got his first Busch win here back in, I think it may have been 03. I got to double check the year on that. But he has fun here in the modifieds. We ran them here for a little bit, and they were a blast to run around New Hampshire. You're right, man. He certainly seems like he's on a mission here, running in the 3rd spot, tracking down the 66 of Cody Harger. Charging towards the front. Tell you, he's caught the 66 in no time here. It's 2 car lengths across the front straightaway here. Lap 60 on the board. Bobby Jr. really excels in the middle of the corner. Catches the 66 quite a bit. Mid-corner off.
So it was 2002. I Googled it for you, Steve.
2002. All right, not bad. I said 03. That was a pretty good guess.
Yep, 2002, first win.
That'd be, not to make Bobby feel old, but that'd be 20 years ago as he takes over the 2nd spot.
Yeah, you know, I got excited listening to Bobby before his race, just talking about it and talking about the memories of the first Busch win he had here.
Yeah, I heard the conversation come up, and I had to jump over here to the broadcast side, unfortunately. But it's always good when you get Bobby chatting about days of old and good old days of racing for Bobby Hamilton Jr. and the like.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, it looks like he's going to be tough to deal with here, just like he was back in 2002.
Hey, who's going to be tough to deal with, though? It's the 33 of Will Hewitt. Will put that car on the pole position here this afternoon, and it is by no fluke that he is up front. Will Hewitt looking very strong in that number 33 Fiver machine. Camaro is on rails here this afternoon. We'll see if he can keep it underneath him and keep some tires on that thing. Bring the 33 home to a victory.
He's trying to spoil Bobby's homecoming here.
Before Bobby catches the 33 here, it looks like Carson Conway has crashed. Let's take a quick look at that. Off afternoon for the 82 so far, involved in a couple of incidents already. All by himself into one, just loses it. Doesn't hit anything, gets out of the way here and gathers it back up, no caution.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Carson.
So just as quick as Bobby Jr. caught the 33 of Will Hewitt, Will grabbed another gear and is starting to put some distance back on the 16. Looks like 33 might have driven it into 1 and 2, though. Got up in that third lane. Still about a half second to a 6/10 second advantage over the 16 of Bobby Hamilton Jr. Lap 65, Will Hewitt still leads.
Yeah, Bobby May got his tires hot on that run. It looked like he was charging and then kind of hit a standstill.
I mean, it's no secret. The closer to the front you get, the harder the cars get to pass. But I'll tell you, these top three here, Hewitt, Hamilton, and Harder, are in a different zip code. They have checked out on the rest of the field. Brian Rose, 4th, Ansley, 5th. That's 4 and 6 seconds behind this lead group. Looks like we've got a stretch of green flag. Knock on wood, don't want to curse anybody, but we're going to try go through the field and spotlight our Superior Class Auto Racing Cup Series drivers. Will Hewitt started on pole here this afternoon, continues to lead here at New Hampshire, or Gloversville or Mayfield, New York. Not sure which one it is. I've gotten mixed responses out of this. But either way, that 5 or number 3 machine looking very stout here, even though a little bit of front end damage. Maybe he fixed it better, who knows, or wrecked it better. Either way, the 33 Will Hewitt continues to lead. Bobby Hamilton Jr. in the 2nd spot. The Hateful Chicken Ford Mustang looking pretty stout once again. Started 2nd, running 2nd. Thought he was going to catch the 33, make a pass, but as Eric mentioned, maybe he got the tires a bit hot. Settling down here, save those tires for later on in the run. Bobby Jr. continues to run 2nd. In the 3rd spot, started 6th, Cody Harder, Calhoun, Louisiana. Plasmine Technologies Toyota Camry, again, looking a little worse for wear. This place is a full mile, and it is fast, but man, these cars look like they've been running Martinsville all afternoon. Cody still runs 3rd. Brian Rose running in the 4th spot. That Track Bar Media Chevrolet Camaro started 8th. Laverner, West Virginia, Brian Rose, Track Bar Media, his company, trying to get out there and make promo videos for businesses and iRacing alike. Running in the 5th spot is Colt Ansley, the 86 Rick Motec Camaro with OCR Outcast Racing. Colt started in the 7th position, had some issues early on in the race with Cody Harder, has battled back to run now in the top 5. Vincent Short, contact with the 7 at Jesse Bobo. Man, that looked like it was intentional, but don't know what that was all about. Either way, 15 of Vincent Short gathers it back up. Contact made by the 7 of Jesse Bobo, gets the 15 sideways. Secondary contact straightens him out. Let's go back and look at that a little bit later. That is lap 70, I think that occurred. Vincent Short, I was going to say, was running a little better than he is in the 8th spot, up 5 positions. Going forward now, Jesse Bobo in the 7 just made contact with the 15 of Vincent Short. Looked a little aggressive to me. Not sure what precipitated that. We're going to have to figure that one out. Justin Napier running in the 7th position. The other Hateful Chicken entry, that number 54 Chevrolet Camaro. Justin has been, well, just a tough afternoon so far. Good thing he's still running on a lead lap. Mid-pack so far, down a few spots from where he started. Just trucking along. He's not out of it yet, running in the 7th spot. Thomas McMullen in the 02 with the Next Generation Fishing Charters on the side. Murder Creek Distillery on the hood. Quietly running in the 9th spot here, up a couple of positions from where he qualified in the 11th spot. Thomas McMullen looking sharp, just bringing the car home relatively clean. Some damage to the rear of that machine. Nothing that's going to slow him down too much. Jeff Napier back in the 10th position. Jeff having a good run here this afternoon as well. Now for that NASCAR Cup Series SCAR logos all over that number 40 machine. Jeff started in the 14th spot. He runs 10th. David Bradford in the number 46, 4-time winner here this season. That's why he has all these win penalties. The EOL at the beginning of the race, EOL at the beginning of the stage, and he's down 2 sets of tires for the balance of the season. running in the 11th position, just trying to nurse the set of Goodyears to the next opportunity where he can change tires. He runs 11th. Mark Truxell also still on the lead lap after a few off-track excursions. You see that thing looks more like a modified right now. Mark Truxell in the 5 machine, running 12th, actually right where he started. Carson Conway, the number 82 Popple entry with Holler Boys Racing. Real tough afternoon for Carson. He's been around and backwards a couple of times, involved in 2 or 3 incidents so far, but continues to keep on trucking at 13th spot. And there's Alan DeFries, who is off the track after a crash off turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. That is your through the field spotlight here, the Superior Class Auto Racing NASCAR Cup Series. Will Hewitt still leads over Bobby Hamilton Jr. The deficit has not gained or reduced. It is still about half a second to 6/10. Lap 76 on the board here. They go down the backstretch into turn number 3. Again, this stage will end with lap 90.
Yeah, I've been watching the lead group, the lead 2, while you was going through the field, and it's kind of Bobby will catch him a little bit, and then Will pulls away a little bit. They're staying about even. They have started to pull away from Cody Harder, who was up in that mix early on.
Yeah, Cody about 3 full seconds back behind the 33 of Will Hewitt. Again, at this point, there's really nobody putting pressure on the 66. Cody just might be saving tires in case something happens later on. He's got some extra grip there, but some wiggle coming out of the 16 of Bobby Jr. off turn number 2. Bobby Jr. may be having some handling problems here in the mid stages of this second stage.
David Bradford's tire situation is definitely showing itself right now.
Oh, I'm not surprised in the least. David Bradford's last lap at 32.39. Leader's last lap at 31.89. Honestly, I'm kind of impressed that it's that close. You look at how long it's been since Bradford got tires. He pitted lap 47, but did not take tires. So, really impressive to see him still able to put up a lap time as quick as he is.
And I think, once we get to the end of this stage, he'll be on fair playing ground.
Another wiggle off turn 2 by Bobby Hamilton Jr. Can't put the power down. Ten laps shy of the end of this stage, just trying to get these cars home.
Like Will Hewitt made a big jump over Bobby there.
Yeah, that last lap, Bobby struggling off turn number 2. Car was sideways.
Ooh,
Really,
just touched the wall.
yeah, I think Bobby burned up the tires, I think battling with the 15 of Vincent Short early on in the stage. First 10 laps are really when it counts when it comes to saving tires in these race cars. If you abuse them in the initial outset, the first 10 laps, you're going to struggle the rest of the run. Kind of take care of them those first 10, 15 laps. You can kind of get away with using them up a little bit here, a little bit there. Just kind of have to be selective. Well, see Thomas McMullen making a pass on the 7, and he just disappeared. There we go. That is for the 7th position. Move Thomas McMullen up to that spot. Jesse Bobo, the 7, he goes back to 8th. Carson Conway tucked in behind the 15 of Vince Short. Short, Conway, and Bradford all in a line. And Conway is actually a lap down in that group. Carson is on the lucky dog position, though. First car lap down. With the stage caution, if everybody else stays on the lead lap, Carson will get that lucky dog, get that lap back.
Looks like Mark Truxell's about 5-6 seconds from going a lap down, so you know Carson's rooting for him to pull through on that and not go a lap down.
Last lap for Mark Truxell was a 32.68. Last lap for our leader, Will Hewitt, a 32.15. So as long as everything stays the same, Mark Truxell should finish out the stage on the lead lap.
A couple laps ago, we were talking about Bobby, you know, scraping the wall and loose coming out of 2, and you know he was down to losing a lot of time on Will Hewitt, and it looks like he's making that back up now.
Yeah, last lap Bobby Jr. was just a tick faster, not much. We're talking 0.02 of a second, but really the fastest car on the racetrack right now is Justin Napier, believe it or not. Second fastest Cody Harder at 32.15. Justin ran a 32.13.
I'm not sure if Bobby's going to have enough to run him down as he comes out turn 2 a little loose there.
Well, we're going to see. If he tries too hard, he's going to find himself sideways off turn 2. It seems to be even when he was just trying to run a constant pace, he was having issues on exit. Maybe he'll give it a shot here. Maybe he'll just ride it out in the second spot. Pays more to win the race than it does the stage, but points are so very important.
That's our 2 picks right there, Steve.
That's true, too.
I hope I didn't just jinx them and us.
You're okay if you jinx one of them, as long as it ain't yours.
Yeah, I'd rather jinx your guy than mine.
Will Hewitt, little loose off 2, out of the throttle again. Bobby is coming, putting the pressure on the 33. Bobby is there, coming to the white flag for stage number 2. Will Hewitt with a 2-car length advantage over to 16 of Bobby Hamilton Jr. Bobby driving it in a little bit deeper than the 33 of Will Hewitt. Half a car length off turn number 2. Wiggle by both leaders. Will Hewitt, Bobby Jr. now in traffic here. Vincent Short, Carson Conway up in front. Oh, Will tried to get by Vincent Short. Vince slides up top of the track. Bobby now trying to take the spot underneath. No, off turn 4 across the front straightaway. Will Hewitt's going to win stage number 2. Bobby Hamilton Jr. second. Cody Harder is going to be third. And Carson Conway spinning in front of the leaders here as the caution comes out.
Not sure what happened with Carson there.
He lost it all by himself. That was the same thing that happened about 20 laps ago or so. He lost it into 1. I think he's just getting back to the throttle a little bit too soon, and the round the car goes, especially on old tires. Well, unfortunately for Carson, that's going to give the lucky dog to Vince Short, because Vince lost the lap right as the leaders came off 4.
Man, that's got to be heartbreaking for Carson.
Yeah, that's tough. Well, with that, this is the end of stage number 2. We're going to take a short break and have a word from the Hateful Chicken before we get into our third and final stage, the last 60 laps of the New Hampshire 150. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to Loudon, New Hampshire, the New Hampshire 150 Superior Class Auto Racing NASCAR Cup Series. In its final stage here with 56 laps to go, we're just wrapping up the second stage caution. Field forming up, getting ready to go back to green. Settle things here in New Hampshire. Lights are still on. The iRacing pace car. Likely going to get the one to go this time by, and we'll get to restart lap 96. It's 54 laps to the finish. Longest stage of the afternoon. Going to be interesting to see if we go green to the end, which we'll see how it goes. We had a real long stretch of green flag the end of stage 2, but the end of stage 1 and the beginning of stage 2 seem to be kind of marred with cautions. See if they can keep things clean from here on out. If that's the case, though, you guys are all going to need to worry about a green flag pit stop, at least for right side tires, before the race is over. I'll have to look at it. I saw Carson going around the pace car. He may have actually gotten that lucky dog. Tough to say. Looks like they're still showing them both a lap down, Short and Carson. Not really sure why. Either way,
well, when Carson spawned, that put him 2 down in front of the lead.
Gotcha.
Green flag.
Green in the air, Will Hewitt in the throttle. Good restart by Will Hewitt. Bobby Jr. to the outside. Good restart by Cody Harger as well in the third spot, putting pressure on the 16 for the second spot.
I think Bobby's wanting to get out front and get that clean air.
Yeah, being out front is going to be a big advantage. If the 16 can get on by the 33 of Will Hewitt, that's going to be a big advantage. And Carson Conway hits the pit lane once again. Bobby Hamilton Jr. right on the back bumper of Will Hewitt. They work off turn number 2 down the backstretch. Bobby took a quick look to the inside. Nothing doing there. Maybe setting him up maybe the next time. Don't see the 16 making a pass through 1 and 2 just because of how difficult that second turn is for everybody out there this afternoon. Then again, you never know. Maybe Will Hewitt doesn't expect it. Maybe that's why you do it.
Yeah, it looks like Bobby's a little quicker going in, and I think he's just trying to figure out the best way of approaching this.
Yeah, last lap, Bobby Hamilton Jr. ran the fastest lap of the race, a 30.45. Will Hewitt's 30.51. Deficit still just a quarter car length. They work into turn 1, lap 150 to go. Ooh, Bobby Hamilton Jr. real loose off turn number 2. How did he save that car and keep it out of the fence and the grass? Unbelievable driving by the 16. Tough break off turn 2. Again, loose as we kind of expected it to happen. It just so happened to be the Hateful Chicken number 16. But man, oh man, what a piece of driving by Hamilton Jr. to save that Mustang.
Yeah, I thought he was gone there.
We're going to have to go back and take a look at that Hateful Chicken instant replay. That was incredible. This is just a lap ago. The 16, Bobby Hamilton Jr., the Hateful chicken machine there off turn 2. Back in the throttle way early, super sideways off the corner. He's got to be 45 degrees sideways, pointed towards the grass, stabs the brakes, straightens the car out, gets off, rolls the car a little bit, straightens it out through the grass, dirt tracking it back to the racetrack. Unbelievable save by the 16.
Yeah, I mean, that was, he done a great job. And then when you hit that grass, most of the time, if you got the wheels turned towards the wall, it's going to jerk you that way. I mean, he just done a fantastic job.
Will Hewitt continues to lead. He has a second advantage over the 66 of Cody Harder. Again, keep in mind, if we go green, we're going to need to make a pit stop here before the race is over with. Pretty sure of that. Of course, I say that, and somebody like a David Bradford or something to that effect may go the whole stage without pitting. Have to see.
I'm sure that David Bradford is glad he has 4 fresh tires now.
So that's just it. He had 2 tires over the wall. Did he take a set early on, or did he wait until just now to take on that set of tires? Did he go 90 laps on a set of tires?
I think he did. I think he's got a set in the pits.
I know last week he ran the Cup race and he was down a set of tires, and he still finished the race with a set of tires over the wall. Never even used them. Watch this battle through the back of the pack here. David Bradford, Bobby Hamilton Jr., the 16, working on the 46 for the 5th position. Another wiggle by Bobby Hamilton Jr. out of turn number 2. Now he's got pressure from Colt Ansley, the 86 machine, trying to get around to the 16. Bobby's definitely better in 3 and 4. 1 and 2 are not his happy place by any means.
We've seen a lot of cars out there struggle. Definitely coming out of 2. I mean, you still see some of these guys coming out turn 2 with a little bit of wiggle or a little bit of looseness.
I mean, there's a real fine line between getting back to the throttle too early and getting the car sideways and getting back to the throttle late. We do have a yellow, though. Not sure. Maybe Vince Short.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there.
Short slow on the front stretch. Let's see what happened with the 15. This is off turn number 2. There it is. We were just in the middle of talking about it. Good job by the 15, though. Spun the thing sideways off turn number 2. You can see all the tire marks through the grass. He's not the only one to have an off-road excursion through there, but keeps it off the wall. Car is still undamaged, thankfully, but the caution does come out nonetheless. So we've got 41 laps to go. Does anybody take tires?
I think this is a strategy call here, especially if you're down to 1 set. I mean, do you come in and take them now, or do you plan on another caution and take them later on? I mean, what would you do, Steve?
I mean, they've only got about 15 laps under green. I almost would like to gamble for another yellow before the race is out to pit. It really just depends on how many sets I've got, but we see some guys taking the opportunity. Vince Short, not one of them, stays out on the racetrack. I think he was the lucky dog. I don't know if he gets the lucky dog, though, if he's the reason for the yellow.
I do not think so.
They're sending him around. So the leaders stay out. The top four, Harger, Justin Napier, Brian Rose, Cole Ansley. Will Hewitt, though, did hit the pit lane for a set of tires. We'll see how he can negotiate his way through traffic here with 40 laps to go. Top four, pit lap 92. Yeah, so Vince did get the lucky dog for the 15.
Okay. This is what I like. It's, you know, this could come down to a little bit of strategy.
I still don't think we're done with yellow flags.
I don't either. I mean, if I'm out there and I have one set of tires, I'm staying out and banking on a late caution. And I feel like, you know, with half of the field on older tires, half on newer tires, the odds of a caution coming out are even higher.
Well, that's just it. I mean, you've got, again, varying strategies like you're talking about with guys that are fresh, guys with not so fresh. The same token, though, these fresh Goodyear Eagles don't really start to grip up, at least here, until you got some heat into them. Usually, first 2 or 3 laps on sticker tires are the best you're going to have all day, but we saw guys off turn number 2 the first 2-3 laps of the race. Almost everybody was spinning or sideways.
You know, like you said, I mean, how big of a difference, you know, is 15 laps going to make?
Right now, probably not much, but if we go green to the end, that's where you're going to see it.
Looks like Cody Harger has chosen to take the bottom side on this restart.
And top 4, pit lap 92. Everybody else, this caution. So 14 or so lap older tires in the top 4. We'll see how it works out. If we get lucky enough to get another caution late, or if it goes green to the end with these guys with fresh rubber, chew them up. Pace car lights are off, about ready to peel off the racing surface. Watch for the 66 to go. Pace car is clear. The 66 is in the gas. We're back underway here in the New Hampshire 150. Cody Harger with a great restart. Justin Napier second. Brian Rose is in third. Cole Ansley fourth, and Will Hewitt fifth spot.
Got some good side-by-side battling between Brian Rose and Justin Napier right now.
A little bit of both. It's Napier in second, Ansley third, but down low is the 89 of Rose. You saw Brian trying to take the spot from Justin Napier. Now Will Hewitt's going to make it 3 wide across the front straightaway into turn 1. Who's going to give up? Dive bomb move by the 33 of Will Hewitt. How he made it stick, I don't know. Unbelievable move for position. Will Hewitt up to the 3rd spot. He's got Cole Ansley to his outside.
I think Brian was a little nice guy there and gave Will a little bit of room.
Well, we still got plenty of racing left here. It's not 2 to go. If it was, I think he would have left his foot in it, but not the case right now. Will Hewitt, though, on the charge. 3rd spot, looking for second to the inside of Justin Napier. Turn number 1. He's got the position, setting sail for leader Cody Harger. Look out. Here comes Will Hewitt. Brand new tires, and he is on a mission. Loose off turn number 2 looks like Vince Short again. Straightens it out. Mark Truxell wide into turn number 3. Keeps it off the wall. Bobby Jr. up to the 3rd spot as well, making a pass on the 54 of Justin Napier. 2 Hateful chicken machines down the front straightaway into turn number 1.
Yeah, I mean, Bobby was a big beneficiary of that last caution, you know, after he had come out 2 sideways.
We got a battle for the lead, and
Whoa.
Justin Napier spins off turn number 4 down the backstretch. In front of traffic, big impact, Thomas McMullen. just as Will Hewitt was going for the lead, caution comes out. Big trouble on the backstretch off turn number 2 once again. See what happened off turn number 2 with Justin Napier and Thomas McMullen. Justin again just gets in the throttle. The rear end snaps loose, tries to save it, overcorrects. Now he's got it turned right sideways in front of the field. Here comes Thomas McMullen on the roof now of the 0-2. Vince Short just squeaks by. Thomas McMullen cannot avoid. Jesse Bobo gets a piece of it.
Hopefully those guys have, still have their quick repair.
I don't think Justin does. I don't know about the 0-2.
I don't think we'd seen him in a wreck. I mean, Thomas is one of those guys that you may not see him much during the race, but at the end, he's going to be there.
4 tires and fuel for Thomas McMullen, but it does not appear that he has a quick repair available. He sits on the pit lane. That next generation fishing charter machine is tore up from the floor up.
So do we know how the aero package is here in the next gen cars with any type of damage?
I mean, anywhere. I mean, as soon as you crack 100 miles an hour, aero makes a difference. And some would say it's even lower than that. They're running 150, 152 mile an hour at the end of the straightaway, so aero does make a huge difference here. How huge, I don't know. We still see damage on the nose of the 33 of Will Hewitt, and he was leading without any issues. So, did it help the car? Maybe not. But did it hurt it? Maybe not. It's tough to say. But Thomas McMullen, that thing's shot. That's not gonna. You're not gonna turn that thing in a 40-acre field. It ain't happening. Now, with all that said, now we've got 3 leaders out front. Hewitt, Hamilton, Bradford, pit lap 109, and everybody else pit this time. So now we've kind of switched things a little bit. Granted, it's not as big of a differential between the tires, 109 to 117, talking maybe 8 laps. See how it plays out, though. Will Hewitt still looks pretty strong out front, but he's got Bobby Jr., David Bradford, 2 of the best in the business, on his back bumper here as we get ready for a restart. I think we're going to get the 1 to go this time.
Will Hewitt's been strong the whole race, so, Bobby, David, Cody, whoever it may be, they're going to have their work cut out to take that position from Will.
Yeah, I will say, win or lose, Will Hewitt has put on a wonderful show tonight, demonstrating a great piece of driving here at Loudon, New Hampshire. This place is tough to get around. We said it in the open. It takes a combination of man and machine to get it done here. Everybody's running the same machine, so it's all a matter of who's behind the wheel, and Will Hewitt is certainly getting it done here this afternoon.
So Cody Harger is the top car on fresher tires.
Yeah, Cody Harger pit this time. The top 3 are lap 109, so about an 8-lap difference between the two. Pace car peels off. Will Hewitt in the gas. Good restart by Will Hewitt. Bobby Jr. the second spot. Another good restart by David Bradford. He may have side-by-side action with the 16. Nope, not just yet. Ooh, mistake by the 33 into turn 1. Will Hewitt slides up the racetrack. Gets away with it, though. Only maybe half a car length back to Bobby Hamilton Jr. Bobby's right there on the back bumper into turn 3, lap 121.
It looks like Bobby's going to apply some pressure to try to make maybe Will look in his mirror and mess up.
intimidation factor may come into play here. Ooh, Bobby almost gets into the back bumper there.
Yeah, Bobby checked up hard as he looks to the inside. He may do it right here.
Pass for the lead in turn number 3. Bobby Hamilton Jr. to the inside. Will Hewitt up high. Can he battle back and get the position away from Bobby Jr.? Nope, not going to do it. 16 clear. No, maybe not. Drag race down the front stretch. Now he's going to have to get it done in turn 1. Will Hewitt making that high side work.
He's going to clear him here, I think.
Yeah, but through all that, the 46 and the 66 starting to gain ground on the top 2. New leader Bobby Hamilton Jr., though. Will Hewitt stays in the second spot right there on the back bumper. David Bradford, Cody Harger, and Colt Ansley, your top 5, all in the mix here in the late stages. Lap 124 going up. 26 to go here from New Hampshire.
So here's Cody Harger in third with the freshest tires out of the top 3. We'll see if he's able to run.
Oh, Colt Ansley spins off turn number 2. Keeps it off the wall again. No caution. This place is so tough. Colt Ansley having trouble once again off turn number 2, moving him to the back of the field. Last car on the lead lap. Battle up front, relatively stable. Let's go back and take a look at the replay with Colt Ansley.
The 66 did pit, Don. So yes, he's got 4 fresh tires.
Just a weird incident for the 86 off turn 2. He was relatively straightened out when he went around.
Cody Harger up here battling Will Hewitt for second.
Taking a look inside turn number 3. Will he have the position? Maybe not yet. It's going to be another drag race down the front straightaway, I believe. Will Hewitt up high. The 33 machine's going to have the momentum off the corner. Cody Harger's going to have the advantage, though. Cody's got him cleared on the front stretch by a mile. Moves the 66 into the second spot. 24 laps to go. Cody Harger is going to have to find a way around the 16, the Hateful chicken of Bobby Hamilton Jr. Bobby on a little bit older tire strategy than the 66. We're talking 8-lap differential between these two. Maybe more like 6 given that they were under caution, but nevertheless, the later this race runs, the more that will come into play. And Bobby Hamilton Jr. hold off a hard-charging Cody Harger with Charger Racing.
Yeah, Cody's looking fast right now, and you know he's got the fresher tires, so he's gonna make a move on Bobby here soon. It looks like.
Cody Harger is there, not even a car length between himself and the 16 machine. They work off turn number 4. Cody with a nose down low to the inside of Bobby Jr. off turn number 4. Cross the line. Bobby's going to lead that lap, but Cody has the preferred line to the inside. Into turn number 1, Bobby runs it high, keeps the momentum up. He's going to battle him back off turn number 2, pinch him down just a bit. Can Cody get back to the gas? Yes, he can. They're drag racing again down the back straightaway. Into turn number 3. It's still Hamilton Jr. by a nose. Cody Harger down low, trying to take over the top spot here at the New Hampshire 150. 22, almost 21 laps to go. Cody Harger off turn number 4, still side by side for the lead at the line. It's Bobby Jr. again. Now to the inside, turn number 1. Can Cody make it stick off turn number 2 once again? We're going to find out. Side by side, he's got the nose out in front off 2. Little loose off the corner is the 66, but so is Bobby Jr. Does clear the 66, move 16 of Bobby Jr. back to the lead.
That was some good racing, and it, you know, Cody's right there going. Looks like he's going to give it another try here in a lap or so.
Cody's got to be careful. He's going to wear the new off of those tires before he can think about it, and then they're going to be on equal footing. Now, you also got to keep in mind is how much tire is Bobby using to defend. Little contact by the 66 off turn number 2. Has to check up, though. Still single file.
I think Bobby's doing everything he can to break the 66 momentum, and he's doing a great job of it right now.
Well, he about parked in the middle of turn 2 there just to do just that. It seemed to work, but you got to be careful because if Cody doesn't catch it in time, it's going to get into you, and around you're going to go.
Looks like Cody's just so much quicker from about the middle of the turn on.
Back to the inside in turn number 3. Cody Harger with position on the 16. They're side by side off turn number 4. Let's see if he can clear the 16. No, Bobby pinches him down again. Still a nose out in front. Bobby Hamilton Jr. battles back, though. Cody does lead that lap, but into turn number 1. Will he have him off turn 2, or is Bobby going to pinch him again? The 16 overdrives it. So does the 66. Let's see how this plays out off turn number 2. The 66 is around. Cody Harger locks him up, spins the car, puts it into the Armco barrier off turn number 2. We stay under green. We knew it was going to happen at some point. Just got to that over-the-limit edge. The 66, Cody Harger, battling for the lead, trying to get around Bobby Hamilton Jr. Just a little too much off turn number 2. So treacherous here this afternoon. Cody now back into the 10th spot with 17 laps to go. Now back out front, though, Bobby Hamilton Jr. might have company from the 33 of Will Hewitt shortly.
And, you know, how big of a difference do you think it's going to make Bobby battling with Cody and Will just sitting there watching?
Well, Bobby's going to have to cool the tires right now. The next lap or two, almost let the 33 of Will Hewitt catch him to do that, because if he doesn't, and those tires stay hot, the 33 may have an advantage. While the 16 and the 66 were battling, Will Hewitt wasn't. He was just running his race, trying to say, okay, well, I guess maybe I'll finish third unless these two idiots wreck each other. While the 66 spun himself, Bobby stays out in front, but now Will Hewitt's going to have to track him down if he wants to win this race. Looking at the stream chat, looks like Thomas McMullen is the jinx on the Cody Harger machine. Thomas says, watch the 66 sweep the week. Let's go Charger. And then he spins.
Maybe the broadcast of the curse is over. Maybe it's a comment curse now.
No, it's the Thomas McMullen. I'm out of the race. I'm going to comment in the stream chat. Curse. Doesn't really have a ring to it. We're watching Brian Rose and David Bradford here, teammates battle for the 3rd position. Brian is right there on the back bumper of the 46. I think Brian may have something to say about this before it's all said and done. Brian on the freshest tires out of her top 3 as he takes over the 3rd spot. 13 laps to go. Can he make it back up to the top 2? Maybe make a move on the 33 and the 16. Brian said before the race even started, quote, I've got nothing for anybody here tonight. Well, here he is with nothing for anybody, running top 3 with 13 laps to go with fresher tires.
And, you know, that his strategy is, you know, it's looking like it may pay off.
It's going to have to dispatch the 33 here pretty soon, though. There he goes. Move Brian Rose, the 89 track bar media Camaro, to the 2nd spot. 12 laps to go. Now he sets his sights on the 16 of Bobby Hamilton Jr. Last lap for Brian Rose, a 31.43 to Bobby Hamilton Jr.'s 31.48 in clean air. The 89 is catching the leader here with 10.5 laps to go. He's going to have to get there soon to do anything with the 16. New tires or not, Bobby's going to be tough to pass. While this continues, it looks like Colt Ansley has crashed once again. We'll take a look at it. Again, off turn number 2, no contact made, just spins himself out. Back in the throttle too soon once again for the 86.
Yeah, that turn 2's been horrendous tonight.
Brian Rose a 10th faster once again on Bobby Hamilton Jr.
He's there.
Brian Rose to the inside on Bobby Jr. with 9 laps to go. They work off turn number 2. Got to be careful trying to make passes there. You saw 66 of Cody Harger lose it trying to do the same. Bobby Jr., Brian Rose off turn number 4, coming to 8 laps to go. It's a half a car length between the two. Brian trying to set up Bobby Jr. once again, make a pass for the lead and the win here in the New Hampshire 150. Bobby slides up high, gives the low side to the 89. They're side by side. Brian with a nose out in front. Going to need to slide up next to the 16, take away that low lane. Brian Rose taking a peek to the inside. Bobby slides down. Off turn number 4, the 89, the 16. Brian Rose and Hamilton Jr. side by side. A drag race down the front straightaway once again. Brian Rose to the inside, turn number 1. Going to try and get it done here another time. Move the 89 to the lead. The 16 forgoes the position as to not wreck himself. He's going to try it back, though. Crossover move down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Bobby Jr. on the low side now, trying to take the lead back. Brian Rose up in the loose stuff in turn number 3 and 4. They work off the corner. Contact made between the 16 and the 89. Brian Rose keeps it straight. Bobby Jr. spins, crosses in front of the 46 of David Bradford. Still no caution. There it is. Yellow flag is out. More hard racing from Loudon, New Hampshire. This is going to set up an interesting finish, though. Who has tires with 5 laps to go? Little late in the replay here. Going to back this one up.
I know Brian's going for his first win of the season, but it looked like he may have just came down on Bobby there.
I mean, I don't know. Brian's all the way up in the marbles there. He's got to come down a little bit. There's no way he's going to make the corner. I don't know, Eric. Brian does come down a bit, but then he kind of holds his line a little bit. The 16 slides up a little. And look at these guys, both dirt tracking it off turn 4. I really thought Bobby was going to save it there, but gets down low in the loose stuff on the front stretch, overcorrects.
I mean, that one's a tough one to judge. If you look at it on, the camera on Brian's view, it looks like Bobby comes up. If you look at it on Bobby's view, it looks like Brian comes down. I mean, I think it's just a racing deal.
I mean, it's hard racing here late. Yeah, absolutely. Looking at the camera on Brian's window net here. I mean, Brian definitely comes down out of that dark lane, but once he gets, I think you're right. I think it's kind of a bit of both here. Racing deal. Less than 10 laps to go, battling for the lead.
Yeah, I mean, initially I thought, Brian may have came down and he got into Bobby. Now, Brian definitely come down, but I think Bobby drifted up a little bit. I'm glad I don't got to make a call on that, though, because that's just good, hard racing, and, I mean, that's what it is, racing.
Terry Ansley says, Eric, you need some glasses.
What's your verdict, Terry? – mean, if you look at it in slow motion, Bobby drifts up right before him and Brian make contact.
And Bobby's really just trying to finish making the corner. So, I mean, and the same is true for Brian. Brian's trying to get out of the marbles so he can make the corner. They just kind of meet in the middle. It's close, hard racing with less than 10 laps to go for the lead and the win. Yeah, I don't see an issue with that. But here we go. Brian Rose going to restart as the leader. Will Hewitt, he pit lap 109. You've got Jesse Bobo, Vincent Short. Vincent Short worked his way back up into the top 5. Cody Harder is running 5th now. They've all got the same tires, but Mark Truxell, Jeff Napier, Bobby Jr., they all pit, and they all have tires. So if we get another caution, we go into overtime, get another green-white checker, who knows what's going to happen. See, Brian Rose is going to take the high side here. A little bit of damage to the left side of Brian Rose. Hopefully that doesn't affect the track bar media machine. But again, you look at Will Hewitt, he's got damage to the nose of that machine. He seems to be getting away with that okay, so we'll see. An update, Eric, Terry Ansley says, racing hard at the end. I have to agree, Terry.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to point a finger there. I mean, it's just good, hard racing. Does anybody have fresh tires here?
Well, the only 3 that do is Jeff Napier, Mark Truxell, Bobby Jr. They are all lead lap cars, but they are a ways back. That's 7th, 8th, and 9th. The only thing that's really going to make a difference there is if we get another caution, which who knows, we could. Pace car peels off the track. Brian holds the field down. In the throttle he goes. Doesn't spin the tires. Good restart by the number 89. Will Hewitt restarts second. Good restart also for the 33. No, not as good as the 89, but he's charging hard into turn number 1. Gained a ton of ground on entry to 1. Now Brian Rose may pick that back up on exit. He does. Down the backstretch, 2 laps to go. Lap and a half maybe before we see a white flag here into 3 and 4. Brian Rose, Will Hewitt, Vince Short, Jesse Bobo, Colt Ansley, your top 5. Jesse Bobo now sliding past Vincent Short for the 3rd spot. Field off of the corner. White flag is in the air. Final lap for Brian Rose. He works into turn number 1. Will Hewitt drives it way deep into turn 1 and 2. Doesn't make contact with the back bumper of Brian Rose. Brian's going to need a run for his life down the back straightaway here to avoid the bump and run into 3 and 4 for the final time. Brian Rose said he had nothing for anybody here today. Checkered flag is waving off corner number 4. Brian Rose will bring track bar media to victory lane here at the New Hampshire 150. Second place was Will Hewitt, Jesse Bobo 3rd, Colt Ansley was 4th, and Vincent Short was 5th.
Bobby Jr. spun coming out 4 and got into the wall, and I thought we were going to have a caution before Brian took the white flag. And I guess Brian was able to get there before the caution could come out. Brian is definitely burning the tires down. I think his first win of the season in the Cup, correct, Steve?
I believe you are right. Not his first Cup win, but his first win this season. First win in the track bar media paint scheme for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he's been very consistent running up towards the front. You know, I think the first few races he wasn't out of the top 3 and finally gets a win at a place where, you know, he told us earlier he didn't have a chance.
Well, with that, we're going to take a short break, get a word from the Hateful Chicken, and we'll be back with our top 3 finishers. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Loudon, New Hampshire. The conclusion here, the New Hampshire 150 in the books. A thrilling finish. Brian Rose is victorious. Will Hewitt was second, and Jesse Bobo was third. Eric, what a crazy race. I don't even know really how to describe it. We got a couple of moments where things were kind of lulled and a lot of green flag runs near the end, but think business picked up. We saw the 66 of Cody Harger spin while battling Bobby Hamilton Jr. for the lead. He ends up finishing. Did he finish the 8th spot? But the same with Brian Rose. All of a sudden, fresh tires coming through at the end. We get a late caution between himself and Bobby Jr. Bobby spins in front of the field, brings out the yellow. We get a green-white checkered finish, and Brian Rose emerges victorious.
Yeah, I mean, I think I mentioned it early on. This could come down to strategy. And, you know, Brian Rose was in the top 6, 7 all race, really wasn't up front, but, you know, he put himself in position with a good strategy. He led 2, 3, 4 laps, and they were all at the end, the most important ones.
Led the ones that count for sure, but let's go down to him. Brian Rose, it's Steve and Eric in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, 10-4, guys. I got y'all.
Brian Rose, the man who before the race told all of us, I got nothing for nobody, and you put it in victory lane. Man, tell us about, well, your whole afternoon and the closing laps and the incident with you and Bobby Jr. off 4.
Well, you know, man, I don't like this track. I mean, it's one of my worst tracks. Tire wear was terrible. I didn't feel like I was going to be able to save tires as good as these guys. Pretty much everybody in the field's better at doing that than I am. Was just playing it out for stage points, and there at the first stage I went in and got tires, came out, won that first stage. That's what I wanted to do, and I thought that was going to be the highlight of my day right there, honestly. Got into Bobby there in the first stage, just racing hard. Didn't really mean to, and there at the end, hey, I'm racing hard. I'm not trying to wreck anybody. It is what it is. You know, fighting these cars that are loose, they're tight, and coming to 10 to go. You know, don't want to leave it with anybody upset, but at the end of the day, I don't feel bad for racing hard either.
Well, Brian, I will say that in watching the replay, and maybe you haven't gotten a look at it yet yourself, but it looked like you got up in the marbles in the middle of 3 and 4, and Bobby was down low. Bobby was just trying to get off the corner, and you were trying to get out of the slippery stuff, and you guys kind of met in the middle. I really wouldn't put blame on either one of you there. It looked like a racing deal on our end. The comments in the stream chat seem to back that up as well. And again, with less than 10 laps to go, going for the lead, you're on fresher tires. I'm kind of with you there. It's a racing deal. It was an exciting finish for all the people watching the stream, that's for sure. Congratulations, man. Did you have any tires left?
Oh no, I used my last set right there, and then still actually got pretty good rubber on them right here at the end of this little run, but I was worried about that. I really was. Tires was going to be a factor, and the caution fell at the right time. I had planned on maybe pitting under green in that last stage if it went green the whole way, but cautions fell right for me, and we got some fresh tires and was able to drive it up there.
Hey, Brian, Eric, congratulations, man, on the win. You know, I was going to pick you this race, and you told me not to. So, was it the strategy that made the difference?
I believe strategy tonight absolutely made the difference. Taking tires at the right times, saving early on in the run. I believe that's truly what made the difference. And I even spun out in the first part of the race, and I realized that I needed to back it off and save more than I was, and don't try to drive more than the track will let me. Because the track did change throughout the race. But, you know, we got the Track Bar Media car finally in victory lane after a long season, getting ready to go into the playoffs. It feels good to finally get that burden off my back. But, you know, thank you, HBR TV guys, all the HBR guys, Scar, the Hateful Chicken, Track Bar Media especially. This was awesome.
That's our winner, Brian Rose, the number 89 Track Bar Media Camaro. Didn't think he had a chance. Brings it home in victory lane. Congratulations, Brian. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, guys.
Up next in the booth, we're going to have our second place finisher, Will Hewitt. Will Hewitt, Steve and Eric in the HBR TV booth. You got a copy?
Yep.
Well, you put the number 33 Fiver Camaro on the pole here this afternoon. You were super strong most of the race, looked very dominant, thought this thing was yours, but second place is where you end up. Tell us about your afternoon if you really had anything for the 89 or even the 16.
I mean, it was fast. We were fast. Just tire wear and came up short at the end. I don't know. Brian pulled something out of his pocket there and found speed. I don't know. I don't know.
Will Hewitt not sounding too pleased with it. It's still a second place finish, so it's a good run for you either way. I know you wanted that victory. You've been running a lot better as of late. What's the secret?
Out of VR, I don't use VR anymore. I just use a monitor. And I don't know, just chilling out and I guess trying to manage this tire wear. I don't know. I'm sick of finishing second here. It's getting pretty old.
Well, certainly better than 30th. But either way, Will, congratulations. Good run tonight. Good qualifying lap. Lightning fast. Good in practice. You won practice. You won qualifying. Second in the race. I'd say that's a pretty good afternoon.
Yeah, it was fun.
All right, well, before we let you go, anybody you want to thank?
I just want to thank Fiverr and the league for putting on these shows every week.
All right, that is our second place finisher, Will Hewitt, driver, the number 33. Next in the booth, we're going to go to the 7, Jesse Bobo, finishing third. Jesse, it's Steve and Eric in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, copy loud and clear.
Let me turn you up here just a little bit, Jesse. Jesse, congratulations. I believe this may be your first top 3 of the season. Tell us about your afternoon and how you got here.
Yeah, it is my first top 3, and just a lot of luck's how I got there. Just right place at the right time, trying to stay out of wrecks.
Looks like you had somewhat fresh tires on that number 7 machine. I know you held off Cole Ansley, Vincent Short. They had almost 25 lap newer tires than you. Was it just a matter of dodging the wrecks, or would you really have to battle these guys at the finish?
I really had to battle them for a little while. Then once they got loose coming off the corner, it gave me a lot of breathing room. I didn't have to push as hard, so it made it a little easier just to hit my marks and try to come home with the top 3.
So, Jesse, I got to ask as well, going back a little further in the race, there was some contact between yourself and the 15 of Vincent Short. I didn't see anything that precipitated it. I don't know if there was some contact between yourself and Vincent prior to that. Was it just a racing deal, or was there a little bit of payback going on there?
It was just a racing deal. It wasn't nothing intentional. I have to look at the replay. I don't think I come up, and I don't know if he come down or if it's just purely just strictly racing.
Okay, well, just so you know, I thought it looked intentional at the time, so if it wasn't, don't get mad.
I understand.
Jesse, thanks for talking to us here. Congratulations on the top 3 finish here. Before we let you go, is there anybody that you need to thank that helps maybe get things done here in the series?
Not really. Just myself. I put my own bill and do it all on my own.
Jesse's the driver, the race team, the truck driver, the crew chief, the whole 9 yards. He got it done here this afternoon. Thanks, Jesse, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Third place, Jesse Bobo. That is our top 3 here from New Hampshire. Man, oh man, Eric, that was a lot better race than I expected. Once we got into the first stage, I was like, okay, this is what we're going to be dealing with. Cautions and loose race cars out of 2 all night long. But they put on a show for us in that last stage. It was far more entertaining than I even imagined it would be. And usually they're pretty good anyway, so I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I thought it was a great race. You know, the fastest car probably didn't win, but the guy that had the best strategy won tonight. So you can win either way. You know, it takes strategy, it takes fast car, and Brian was able to put himself in the best position late in the race. You know, you got to compliment him for it.
Yeah, Brian certainly. Sometimes you fall into these, and people are like, "I'd rather be lucky than good." Now, Brian's pretty good. This is not his first win in the SCAR Series. Certainly not his first in Cup, but his first this season. And again, he went into this not very confident in his abilities around a 1-mile flat racetrack, but it worked out. He learned the hard way real early on. The car got sideways. He spun it out off 2, and he says, "All right, time to back her down. Just get what we can get. Keep the car clean." And look at that, gets a checkered flag out of the deal.
Yeah, I mean, he adjusted to the track as the race went along, and you know, like I said earlier, strategy. He had the best strategy for this one.
Yeah, it really worked out good. I mean, being able to throw tires on late in the race, certainly a big advantage. But again, Will Hewitt, his tires were the oldest on the track, and he finished second. It just shows you how fast the 33 was here tonight. And then you've got Jesse Bobo, the 7, who just kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, I don't want to pick on Jesse. He's not a perennial top 3 finisher, but he's always in the mix. And this afternoon, he earned a top 3, and he put it in there, and he got it. So that's big congratulations to the 7.
Yeah, I mean, he had his strategy, and the way he raced the race and let the track come to him, it ended up getting him a 3rd place. You know, I kind of feel disheartened for Will Hewitt. You know, came home great with a 2nd place finish. You know, he was out front most of the day, but you could just tell in his voice, you know, he was not happy with a 2nd place.
How many times have you seen Kyle Busch happy with a 2nd place?
That is true. I mean, that goes to show you how competitive everybody in this league is. And, you know, Will was dominant most of the race. So, you know, I can understand his frustration there.
Well, either way, 2nd place is still better than 30th. It's not a win, but at the end of the day, I think tomorrow morning he'll probably shake his head and he'll take it. You know what I mean? It's on to next week for sure. Speaking of upcoming events, next week in the Cup Series, we just finished up New Hampshire here today, but next week we go to some high speed, 2.5 mile Pocono Raceway, the Pocono 175, 70 laps around that tricky triangle. That's going to be fun to watch. No, not fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought you was going on about the race. I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, I'm anxious to see what these next gen do. I think the draft, obviously the draft's going to play a big part there. So I think it's going to be an exciting race. You know, it seems like every big track we get on is an exciting race in these next gen cars.
Well, that's what's going to be fun about Pocono is, again, you get that high speed and there's going to be a draft involved. But you've got relatively low banking. It's 14 degrees, 8 degrees, and 6 degrees respectively in all 3 corners. So you got to approach them all differently. The car is going to handle good and maybe 2 of them if you're lucky. You're not going to get the car to be happy in all 3. So you got to kind of play the balance game there. It's going to be fun to watch. So make sure you guys tune in next week for that. Tuesday, 8:45, Holler Boys Racing TV. But again, speaking of upcoming events, obviously today we're wrapped up here with the Cup Series, but tomorrow, Wednesday, 7:45 Eastern Time. Tune into Holler Boys Racing TV. We've got the Tour Modifieds from Gateway. Thursday, we've got the Truck Series at Wilkesboro, 7:45 Eastern. And on Saturday, we are at Rockingham with the ARCA Series. Again, it's 7:45 East. So don't miss any of that action. I know it's not SCAR related, but it is Holler Boy Racing TV related. So if you have time and you're not busy, we'd love to have you. Again, interact in the stream chat. I know I'm not too talkative with it tonight because I got my buddy Eric up here in the booth, but all the other races, I'm awful lonely. So stop in, say hello, ask me questions, tell me what I'm doing wrong. You know how it works. Before we get out of here, of course, we have to say special thank you to the Hateful Chicken. Hateful Chicken is the primary sponsor, the main sponsor for this entire league, whether it's the Cup Series, Super Late Models, ARCAs, across the board. They help put this show on for you guys to watch, for these guys to race in. They really are a partner in this. They got the races on at the bar. It's a blast, and we certainly appreciate their participation. The Hateful Chicken, hang out or carry out. Call 615-246-1563 or stop on down to 164 South Main Street, Suite 300, Ashland City, Tennessee. And also by Whiplash Media for providing custom camera work for many of our streams. This one, they provided all the onboard shots that you saw in the stream this afternoon. If you are in streaming business yourself, contact Whiplash Media on Facebook. Hit them up for some custom cameras for your stream. What did you have, Eric?
I was going to say, we're going to have to check out the Hateful Chicken one day.
Yeah, one of these days, if I get in my car and drive the 12 hours, I will definitely do it. If I'm going to drive down there, I'm going to do it. That's going to wrap it up for us here at Holler Boys Racing TV. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe, facebook.com/HollerBoysRacingTV, and on YouTube at Holler Boys Racing TV. That's all for us here in the booth. I'm Steve Singer for Eric Dotson. We'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.